Hi, my name is Bubami, and I am a recovering perfectionist. I've been wanting to talk about what perfectionism is and how to tackle perfectionism for a very long time. And so I'm excited to talk about it today. And I'm in recovery from being a perfectionist, basically meaning that not allowing perfectionism to hold me back from accomplishing goals that I want to accomplish. And I'll talk a little bit about what led me to becoming a perfectionist. First of all, I'm a Nigerian American, meaning that I have Nigerian culture. I was born in America, lived most of my life in America, but there are standards that, as a Nigerian, that are normal, but when it comes to excelling education and things like that, and it's easy to get into the mindset of feeling like you always have to have things perfect or always have to have things right, or you're a failure. And so I've never necessarily looked at myself as a failure, but I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed or to accomplish certain goals. And so when I was 25 years old, I made the decision to be in recovery from being a perfectionist, meaning that I wanted peace of mind. I reviewed what my core values were, and I decided to say, hey, this is how I want my life to be. Yes, my mom and all these other people have lived their lives the way they want to live their lives, and I'm going to decide to live my life the way I want to live my life. And that's not being a perfectionist. And so there's nothing wrong with striving to excel, striving to be successful in different things that you're doing. That's different from perfectionism. Perfectionism is the fear of failure, also fear of not being where you feel like you should be based on what society tells you should be doing. And I've never been the type of person that followed what society tells me to do, but I was still impacted by it. And so, as confident as I am, as driven as I am, I was still impacted by perfectionism. It wasn't as severe, but it was still an issue. And so I wanted to just challenge people to understand what the difference between perfectionism and striving to excel is. I remember somebody telling me before that, we're supposed to strive for perfectionism because we got to be like God. And I told them basically that we can be like God, but we can't be God. And so a lot of times we want to take on the role as superheroes and that we have superpowers. I put that down that cape a long time ago because there's a lot of pressure in wearing that cape. I'm going to do the best that I can, but there's only so much that I can do. There are limits that I have, and I have to be able to recognize that and give myself grace. And I talked about what grace means for me in the past videos. And so if you watch that video, you'll see my definition of grace. But I have a sheet right here. I just want to read some of the things about perfectionism versus striving for excellence. So perfectionism looks like believing that everything must be perfect at all times. That's not realistic versus understanding that some situations call for perfection, meaning like if you're performing surgery or something like that, but other situations do not, like choosing an outfit or choosing to post a video, things like that. Um, Perfectionism looks like spending time on trivial problems, and striving for excellence just looks like focusing time on the most important problems. And so being able to itemize and prioritize what's important versus what's not important. What can I change and control versus what I need to let go of? And then next, it says perfectionism sets impossible standards for success and you feel upset when you don't meet those standards. And striving for excellence basically looks like you set standards that are challenging but achievable. We talk about SMART goals. I always tell people when they tell me they weren't able to accomplish their goals, I'm like, was it a SMART goal? Was it attainable? Was it specific? Was it achievable? Did you have a set time for it? Was it measurable? Like I ask them if they set those SMART goals. And you feel more content when you're able to set goals that are challenging, but also you set healthy standards. Perfectionism is motivated by fear of failure, criticism, or rejection, whereas striving for excellence is motivated by the potential for success and happiness. Perfectionism sees self only in extremes as either perfect or a failure. I feel like there's a spectrum to the perfectionism as well. That's why I said I wasn't extremely in the perfectionism spectrum, but I was impacted by perfectionism. So I feel like it's a spectrum. And then striving for excellence looks like seeing self from a balanced perspective with both strengths and weaknesses. So that's what I decided to see myself in a balanced state of both strengths and weaknesses, being able to recognize what my strengths are, utilizing my strengths, but also recognizing that I have weaknesses that I can develop and work on, but that is not always going to be perfect. There's some strengths that I have that are easy for me. That's one of the benefits of being in partnership with my business partner. She has her strengths, I have my strengths. I'm a visionary, I'm an executor, but I can pay attention to detail, but there's some things that might not be my strength. And so I rely on support from others to help me do that. And so that's striving for success. Not feeling like I have to do everything on my own or that I have to accomplish things on my own. And the importance of community. And so I challenge you today to recognize where you fall in the spectrum of perfectionism, or if you're in a space of striving for excellence. Let me know what you think you are, where you are. Are you in a spectrum of perfectionism, or are you in a space where you're in recovery and striving for excellence? So you can say this on the comments. Hi, my name is, and I am a recovering perfectionist, so that you can decide today to let yourself go of the perfectionism trap.